And welcome, this is ballerscuba with part 0 of Let's Play Mass Effect 3. We are going to finish the original Mass Effect trilogy starting very soon, but we do have a part 0 to go over first so I can talk about the Let's Play and have some of my questions answered because this is blind, just like the other two games. So there are a lot of things that are going on here, some of which I understand, some of which I don't, some of which I would like your guys' opinions on. So let's start with half the screen here, the Galaxy at War thing. To be honest, I do not fully understand what is going on here. I don't want to Google it too much because I'm always afraid that it's going to give me some kind of spoilers. But from what I understand, the Galaxy at War thing here is mostly about multiplayer. I'm not particularly interested in doing multiplayer for Mass Effect 3. I could do some of it, but it's not something that's going to be a major part of what I am doing. So I'm not entirely sure that I really need to pay attention to the Galaxy at War map here. It's about my readiness rating. I pretty much loaded it up and it gave me 50%. So I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. I have no idea. But basically I have little interest in working on that from what I understand, because like I said, from what I understand, it's mostly about multiplayer. So if it's something different and I have a gross misinterpretation of what's going on, feel free to let me know. With that said, let's talk about some of the options that I'm going to be using in this game. Once again, we are going in blind. Well, I'm going in blind. Many of you will know what I am doing and what I'm doing wrong. I'm going to stick with normal difficulty. I have auto level up off. Everything else is on. Squad mates can use their best stuff. Autosave is on. Hints are on because sometimes I'll get lost, I am sure. And action icons are on. Hopefully that doesn't become too pervasive. Otherwise, I could just turn it off. They'll let me know when I can do an action. That's nice to know when I can do stuff. But narrative is probably going to be the major stuff here, at least in the options menu. I have conversation mode on full decisions. All conversations require participation. No choices are made for you. It's kind of weird that there are just the two options. There's full decisions and there's no decisions. All conversations play automatically. Responses are chosen for you. I think that's a little weird and kind of goes against the whole idea of Mass Effect, as far as I can tell. Just to let the game kind of go. The whole thing has kind of been about my choices, I was told. So, full decision it is. I do have subtitles on, that's mandatory. We are keeping that on no matter what. This is really where the questions come in. So, I have Shepard's helmet and the squad mate helmet off in conversations. They can also be default. You see the equipped helmet in most circumstances, or you can have them off in conversations. Those are the options. I want it off in conversations. I feel like sometimes the helmets, especially some of the DLC helmets or some of the more extravagant helmets, become too distracting inside of conversations. So I think I should probably keep them off in this game. I did notice that a lot in the second game. I'm not sure if that necessarily applies forward, but I'm going to operate under the assumption that it does. With the squad mates, there's a few more options if memory serves me correctly. I can have them off in conversations, default on, just have it on all the time, or have it off all of the time, except, I assume, when we need them for breathing. But off in conversations seems to be the way for me to go. They will be on most of the time, but when I start talking to them, they take them off. Show some respect. But that is up for debate. If you guys want something different, feel free to let me know. English voiceovers, English text, we're going to keep it as that because that's pretty much the only language that I understand. So, that's pretty much the options here. The rest of the stuff, not that big of a deal. I will probably change the key bindings, just the one though, because I do have a key binding that they like to use on quick load. That's my record button. I would rather not hit quick load every time I go to record. That'd be great. Here I'm going to go over the downloadable content that I have. Unfortunately, it goes through the Origin overlay, which does not get recorded. So as far as you're going to be able to tell, I'm going to be reading from nothing here. I'll try to make this quick. I downloaded, as far as I can tell, all of the DLC that does include missions, possibly new characters, or anything that I felt was kind of important in that sense. But when it came to when it came to the packs that just gave me skins, like different outfits or new weapons, and that was it, I did not go for that. But with that said, I have a few BioWare points to spare. So I think I have 320 BioWare points to spare. So if you want me to get one of the packs, feel free to let me know. You have one in that you like, one of your favorites, and I can try to show it off. So let me look over the DLC that I do have. I do have Genesis 2. No, I do not have Genesis 2, which is a comic, a little bit of a backstory that allows me to change things up, but that's not necessarily something that I wanted to do. But if you are interested in looking at the comic, it is by Dark Horse after all, feel free to let me know. But I do have Citadel, I do have Reckoning, I have Omega. I assume some of these are map packs from multiplayer, but I'm going so quickly that I don't get to see which one is which. I do not have the Alternate Appearance Pack 1. I do not have Groundside Resistance Pack. I do have Retaliation and Leviathan. I do not have a Firefight Pack, but I do have Earth. I assume that's a map pack. I do have Extended Cut, which is, from what I understand, additional scenes and kind of an epilogue, pretty much changing the ending. Hopefully I'll be able to find the original ending as I go forward before I see the extended cut, so I can kind of gauge what the original ending was and what they changed it to. I know that was a hugely controversial topic when this game came out, so hopefully I'll be able to tell the difference, but it is installed already. I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem. I do have Rebellion installed, as well as Resurgence. I do have the digital books and the soundtrack. Not that that really matters, at least not for my purposes right now. I do have From Ashes, and I do have the N7 Collector's Edition materials. So I do have most of the things, right? I'm just missing the Firefight Pack, Groundside Resistance Pack, Alternate Appearance Pack 1, and the Genesis 2 comic. Outside of that, I do have everything. So if there is one of those, or even two of those that are your favorites, feel free to let me know, and I might purchase it and show it off a little bit. With that said, let's head in to some of the custom creation options that are available when we start a game. If you have not seen my Mass Effect 1 or Mass Effect 2 Let's Plays, and you don't want to be spoiled about what happens in those, now would be a good time to turn away, because we're going to have to talk about that. We can import our Mass Effect 2 character. That is what we are going to do. We are not creating a new character at this point. We're continuing Mariah Shepard. So she started off Earthborn, Ruthless, and Sentinel, and let's see what she did throughout her journey. That was when I created her in Mass Effect 2, but all right. So, once again, spoilers for my Mass Effect 1 and 2 Let's Plays if you have not seen them. Alright, so, I saved the Rachni Queen, I rescued Ashley Williams on Vermeer, I chose to sacrifice the Council, I saved Malon's data, I kept Rex alive on Vermeer, I chose to rewrite the Geth Heretics, I destroyed the Collector base, I survived the suicide mission with all 12 squad mates, I romanced Liara before Mass Effect 2 in Mass Effect 1, and technically speaking, I did not romance anybody in Mass Effect 2. Anybody that tells you different is a liar, even though Liara and Kelly will most likely tell you different. So that's what I did there. Which one is the one where I didn't survive? There we go. This is the one that I didn't survive with everybody. Outside of that, everything should be exactly the same. Yeah, it looks like everything is the same. I want to move forward with the 12 squad mates because I feel like the game lied to me in the end of Mass Effect 2, and that's the only reason why I lost that squad mate in the first place. She's like, I can do it too. Bullshit, you can't. All right, so this is a character that I'm moving forward with. So let's take a look. Let's see what Mariah looks like here. Oh, she looks good. She looks good. If you want me to try to change her up, try to make her look even better, feel free to let me know. But this is a huge improvement over the previous two games. I have to say, that is significantly better. She actually looks like a fully fledged person at this point. The eyes in particular have drastically improved, and that was kind of one of their weaknesses in the first two games. That is nice. But if you do want me to change it, let me know. But let's take a look at the build that I can go. So I've been a Sentinel this whole time. The plan, as of right now, is to stick with Sentinel. So Sentinels are unique, bringing both tech and biotic abilities to the battlefield. In addition to complete weapons training, Sentinels are equipped with an advanced shield that makes taking cover much less necessary and rushing their enemies much more productive. Sometimes. This armor system can also be detonated to blast nearby enemies. So I do get throw, which was awesome for me, warp, which was also awesome for me, lift grenade, that one's new, tech armor, which I grew to like toward the end, but I don't know, it just wasn't that powerful for me at the beginning, I felt. Overload and cryoblast. So that is what I plan on doing, unless there's a huge set of requests, I should say, for me to switch to something else. We could be the full soldier, the full combat-oriented person with no tech or biotic abilities to speak of. We have the Infiltrator, which is a combination of tech and combat. Vanguard, which is a combination of biotic and combat. Then we have the combination that I'm on right now, which is tech and biotic. Then we have the pure biotic in Adept, and the pure tech in Engineer. So I pretty much have a combination class that does not include direct combat. That's pretty much the way that it is right now. So that's the way that I have it moving forward. This is as far as I've made it. I know that it said resume game back on the initial screen. This is essentially how far I made it. Once I figured out that it was loading a cutscene, I got out of there as quickly as possible. So I have not seen the cutscene. Don't worry about that. We are going in completely blind. So that's going to do it for this part 0 of Let's Play Mass Effect 3. So once again, let's try to quickly go over what I wanted to talk about. I'm afraid I don't have time to go over all the questions here, but I will be trying to do as much as I can, just like I have in the first 2 games. I do have, as far as I can tell, all of the DLC that does add missions and scenes and possibly characters. I think some of them were considered temporary, but there were some characters that were added. I'm importing the save in which I was able to save everybody from Mass Effect 2 because I feel like the game kind of cheated me out of it one time. Plus, I love Jack. But that is the idea moving forward. We are going to wrap this up. We are going to most likely defeat the Reapers unless I completely fail over and over again. At least that's my assumption. So I hope you guys do look forward to the Let's Play. I've been ballerscuba, and I hope to see you then.